Okay. The I might even remember how to use OBS. Oh, I forgot the most important thing. Eh. Oh boy, I can hear myself. There we go. Yes, I do in fact need to launch a YouTube studio. Alright. There I am. Man, it has been so long since I last streamed. I forgot I had a Santa hat still on. And it's been so long, I don't have to take it off. Sometimes things just work out. And being surrounded by cats. Just fed them, but they hunger for more. I haven't streamed in a while. And most of it has just been... I've been so goddamn busy. Also sick. Holy crap, have I just been perpetually sick. And most of it's been thanks to my work. I just... stress, busyness, so on and so forth. Which one do I want to take? They take off the list? Oh, it's already selected. Okay, that works. Since I last played, there's been like 2 major season updates and Reincarnation 10. I don't believe I've streamed Reincarnation 10 at all. Oh, I don't think I've played Reincarnation 10 solo. That's slightly so I can actually see it. As a tempting one. That's not. That one. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I meant to do. And Chaser. So, I don't know how I feel about the new season. It's been very hit and miss. I'm not gonna say it's bad, but I feel like the whole dice roll thing isn't nearly as interesting as the previous seasons. Oh god, I completely also forgot. So it's a very minor reason, but there's also a silly tertiary reason why I had to take a step away, which was I was having issues getting just any sort of reasonable setup with my monitors. And I know it doesn't sound like that's that important, but the reason for it is that I was having trouble with like some of the HDMI wires because some of them were just going bad. At one point, I had to swap the GPU out between the computers. And so as a result, I had my streaming PC completely disconnected. And so I kept just procrastinating on setting it back up. And in addition to that, I needed to get HDMI cables that were long enough to reach from the first computer to the second, because to basically explain it, so with a streaming PC set up to put the load of the streaming portion onto the CPU of the other computer and leave the primary computer, well, I guess, and also VTube Studio, but I'm not running a complex model in the slightest, so that's less important for me there. But, like, it was mostly for, like, so my original plan was I was actually going to start streaming Monster Hunter Wilds when it came out, and I missed that slightly because I had to travel for work. And then I came back, played some, and then just never got back to playing the game. So that plan went up, but that was half the reason why I wanted to have a separate streaming PC, was I was like, okay, this is going to be a bit of a problem. I need to have a separate streaming PC set up so I can have this run, and it's going to absolutely slam my CPU. So the more I can offload onto the other computer, the better. And that sort of worked out. God. Don't hit their shields. So, as a result, the way a capture card works is that you basically have the input, and then you can capture it with OBS, but you don't want to watch your game through that. So you're putting a direct line from your, graphics card into the input of the... Oh, god damn it! Did I... I forgot to go into the vault in the other room. Damn it. Too distracted talking. So as a result... Whoop. Yeah, that's just sad. No, wait, I did go in, didn't I? Why am I blanking on if I did this or not? Oh god, get out of the corner. Where's that story? Oh yeah, so anyways, so you have a second cord that comes out of your... Oh god. Oh god. God, no. Ah! Damn it. Anyways. Try that again. was trying to avoid... The problem is that the secondary bombs on those guys don't have indicators, so you kind of have to just guess sometimes. No. 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 Hold on. Alright. And I want... firepower. Critical shit. All right. Anyway, so the story is that effectively, because you have to run it, you get an output which just immediately, without any sort of latency, because you don't want to watch the stream from your capture card, there's an immediate output that just immediately outputs the signal back out, so you hook that one up to your actual monitor. The setup is kind of intended for, you know, capturing consoles, but it's fairly useful in these situations where you're not really doing any console capturing. So, unfortunately, that required me to have a wire that could go all the way from my main computer to the streaming computer, and then a second one that could go back. And I don't know about everyone else, but I have had terrible luck buying, like, just HDMI cables on Amazon, primarily because a lot of times they'll be like, oh yeah, this is an 8K. It's a lie. Every goddamn time. And you're, like, just trying to find one that isn't, like, you know, trying to sell you, like, oh, we plated this in gold from Valhalla. And then, you know, upcharging you, like, 80, 90, 700%. And then try, you know, they're either charging you an absurd amount for it, or you're trying to get something that's, like, not nearly as fancy, and the next option, there's no middle tier. It's just the cheapest of the cheap shit that will not do anything of what you want. I had this very issue when I had never had a 1440p or higher thing, and I tried to use an HDMI cable and watched my system absolutely die trying to do this. I hear a cat meowing. Oh, that's what it is. I don't know if that's coming over the mic, but we got Nimbus a cat running wheel. And he's a bit of a chunky kitty, so he needs it. Problem. One of the recommendations to get a cat used to the running wheel is to put treats on it. I think you can understand where this is going, but I'll continue. So, we did this. And my roommate kept with it as well, and also would reward him when he was on it. So anytime the little bastard's hungry, he does a run on the wheel and starts meowing up a goddamn storm, going, look at me, see? Come on, quick, feed me. He is just... I mean, it's getting him to run, but I told my roommate, it's like, you know, we need to... you need to, like, increase the interval in which you're giving him, like, treats for this, or else it's gonna kind of negate all the progress. But, you know, he's a very wild cat. He likes to run. He just doesn't have much stamina, so I feel like this should help him a bit. And, I guess as another piece of information, we just got another cat, which kind of breaks the general rule of only having 2 cats. There's a decent reason for it, and it has worked out. So, generally when you have 2 cats, it's so they can, you know, have each other whenever, you know, you're away during the day. They can walk, you know, play around with each other to tire each other out, so they're not quite as... I mean, I don't really have a weapon resource, but I'll use that. So they generally have, they're not laying us around as much, that gets depressed. There's generally a benefit for it. Let's see. There's not really reason to mess with these. But, so he started playing, the problem though is that him and Gato don't get along very well at all. Like, she hates him, he wants to play with her, but like, at this point, he's kind of gotten a little spiteful around her because, well, she hits him all the time. So it's not really accomplishing anything, and he's getting more and more, like, restless and wanting to play. So we decided to get another cat, and this has had a actually extra beneficial effect of, one, she plays with him a lot, so he has anyone to play with. But two, Gato doesn't hate her all that much, so this additional cat has gotten her to, like, warm up a little bit more. So we're hoping that, you know, that'll be a better long-term solution. I hate the guy with the shields. Okay. Oh, I'm stuck. I hate those. Nope. You know, I have to give Gunfire Reborn a lot of credit. Like, to a certain degree, like, your character build is only up to a certain degree that important. Like, getting the right pieces to come together for your character's flavor of dealing damage is still important. But, like, at the end of the day, you're kind of either doing a weapon build or a skill build. If you're doing a weapon build, there's not a ton of variation on it, because, let's face it, there's a good chunk of weapons that kind of suck. But at the very least, I don't think there's a single character that feels bad. That's tempting. No. Yeah. Move speed. I'm going to come back to that. Like, if I had to point out anything, there's a few weapons that I don't think are very good for what they are, where they could be good. But, like, there's some weapons that, like, entirely rely on you getting the exclusive inscription to be good. And then there's weapons that are just good by the default. I argue the Illusion is probably still one of the better weapons in the game for quite a few characters. I've actually been really enjoying this clogged one, but that's because it's effectively an automatic shotgun without the shotgun. I mean, I'll just take that just in case. Yeah, could be worse. But, like, I still feel like the Ghost Shock... Yeah, this one. I feel like the Ghost Shock, it might be still the worst weapon in the game, in my opinion. There might be somebody who enjoys that thing, but ain't me. Yeah, that's neat. Let's see. All right. Snow boots. All right, back to that portal. But no, I don't think there's a character that just feels bad to play. If I had to argue a character that's probably that... Oh, man, it's kind of a tie now. It's somewhere between the squirrel and the original cat. Now, there's some people that love that cat, but, like, it's not that he's bad, it's that he has a very rough starting point, and he is not very consistently able to reach a good general point of anything. Come on. Come on. It's one of those guys who isn't inherently that, like, powerful. But I don't want to be caught by him because then he just spins on you in a corner and... What are you supposed to do about that? But, like... What was I gonna say? So, the base cat, I feel like he's just... He's in this spot where if you don't get his stuff to line up properly, like getting the last tier of any of his elemental stuff... It's kind of shit. Words. Forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, so he's in a very awkward spot because, like, why am I using this? This does so much less damage. That's with me hitting the weak spots. Okay. Anyways. I could probably sell off one of these, like... it's not really worth it. Okay. How am I supposed to get consecutive? Kind of just happens by accident, so I actually don't know what the time frame on that is. But anywho. No, I just have a very inconsistent, like, experience with that character, and I just hate how slow he is. Because he's the slowest character in the game. Like, every character after him is slightly faster, and you wouldn't think that slightly faster matters that much. But it does. Oh god, I keep hitting the shield. Hey, buddy. Oh, come on. I hate losing it this early. Yeah, I'm going over here. Hey, look, it's that terrible weapon I'm talking about. That's... could be useful. I'm not trying it. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of that weapon. It feels too slow to use in situations where you have to just constantly be, you know, mowing down enemies. And like, if it was damn near a one-shot for the attack speed, I would be all for it. It is not. that. I will say I think this character might be one of the stronger ones, though, because, like, I don't think there's many builds that can really beat auto crits. I don't know. That's just my opinion. It's like any character that can guarantee a crit is just going to be an absolute monster. And the problem is that she gets benefits for getting easier crits. It's like the benefit is the easier crits. That shit. Oh, so it's not primary skill use. They finally fixed the text on that. This like they're clearly like using AI or something else like to translate all their stuff, and it's not good. it's never consistent on launch, and so you'll just be looking at it going, only I could figure out like what arcane runes they have placed on this. Ooh. It's a shame this is so early, so it's kind of useless. Nope. Yeah, I know there's people that love the base character. I just don't like how inconsistent he is. Because here's the thing, I have gotten the run with that character. I've gotten the run with the cat. It was, I maxed out the fire, I maxed out the corrosive. I had a fire Gemini'd into corrosive. Let's see. Oh, these are two pretty good options. So let's see. That one shit, and those two. And so I shot one enemy and watched as the entire room exploded. Yeah, let's go with that. It was a lot strong. It was nuts. Like, you put that on a sniper rifle, and you just go to town. And, once again, yes, it was incredibly dumb. It wiped rooms. It was there. Do you know how many runs it's been since I've ever seen that effect? You know how many runs I go without even seeing the last tier of his skill? If you say all of them, you would be correct, because I almost never finish any of his elemental things. It's happened so inconsistent. It happens more now than it did before, and it still doesn't happen that often. Thank God I have some movement speed increases, because this would be awful. You know, this guy kind of takes spray and pray to a whole new level. Hey, if it works. Like, I don't even let go of the button. I just go, oh, there's an enemy there. And just lazily peep over to that side. Okay. You wanna get out of my face, guy? Okay, you're close. I'm simultaneously doing a lot and no damage to this guy at the same time. And there's a problem with not having any sort of electric weapon at this early, but I feel like electric is like one of the worst elements otherwise. Because you get through their shield, and then you're just sad the rest of the time. Also, another reason why this character might be the strongest is just... I'm sorry, having it execute for that much is goofy. Yeah. I'm okay with a tracker. I know it's a weapon that has basically aim assist built in, and that's not even my intention. That's a fire weapon now. That's neat. Like, half the time I pick that weapon up, it's just because of the fact that when you're in this mode, you end up building more... What's the word looking for? You get more shots in. And this character gets a lot out of, you know, more shots. Let's see. I'm looking for the arcane box. Arcane box. There it is. Alright, so now I need firepower and critical shit. These are so disappointing. I mean, it's not worse, it's just not better. I did it again. I fucking hate when I do that. And I bought the wrong one. And it got worse. Alright, we're using weapon recharge. Woo! Not because I totally screwed up. That might be the easiest set of selections I've ever made. And that was a slightly harder selection, but still pretty easy. Okay. But yeah, I think the squirrel might be my my least favorite character. Because I'll play the cat, despite I think he is not good. But I will play him from time to time, because I like to switch things up. I don't like the squirrel. And it's mostly because he might be the most complicated character in this game, bar none, for no good reason. Because here's the thing. Devs are notoriously bad at this, and this is I'm not even saying like these devs or like people as a general thing, like or well, like developers as a general thing. I just mean kind of people in general have a very difficult time making risk reward feel good. A lot of the times, and the problem is that the general thing is it's better to overcompensate in the direction of it being weaker than too strong, because something being weak will be ignored and they won't receive as much criticism. And I don't even think that's their intention. I think that's just what happens, is that the thing that's bad just kind of gets ignored, finds its little niche of people who want to play it, and that's about it. As opposed to things that are too good, people will complain that they're too good. And so you kind of end up with this like sort of feedback of, oh, well, I guess we just need to nerf that. And then if they go too far, well, nobody cares because they're not hearing anything about it. Ooh, I like this gun. This jackpot's been nuts. And it's lucky, too. Yeah. Game? This is not my first run. Why are you giving me the tutorial? No. 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 Maybe I should have done that. Sure. It's not a fast weapon, but the numbers on this weapon get a little goofy. Oh god. Anyway, so yeah, risk reward. People tend to devs tend to overcompensate on it. And so usually the things that are the most complicated and the most risky to play tend to just be bad. And it's not even, and like the problem is that the people who like it will defend it to the fucking ends of the earth. They will say it's great. They'll say it's, you know, it's so skillful. And you're like, yeah, but like if you just break down the numbers at all, it's bad. And you could like it. That's a whole different thing. But if I, you know, had to go with it, I go, yeah, but like this just isn't worth it. And that is effectively my entire experience with playing the squirrel character. Is they got so many stupid little mechanics going on, and their only real benefit for doing so is they have a talent that can be picked up by other people with that, you know, the one thing, for letting you use weapon skills better. And that is such a extra niche thing, because unless you explicitly plan to go for it, like right now, I had a weapon that used weapon resources, and now I'm not using it anymore. The runs evolve. Like, you just kind of have to deal with it. Let's go with that one. That's not too bad. God damn, I'm fast. Give one a called scroll. That's probably still worth it. This is actually a decision. I don't really want to pay more for that. I mean, that's not the worst. It's kind of my forever weapon now, I think. Refresh addict, agent timer. So yeah, generally I just kind of find risk reward measures to be not properly balanced in most cases. And that character, I find they have way too many things going on, and I still don't think I fully have grasped how their their primary skill works. And like every time I use it, I just feel like I'm like, man, I feel like I'm doing everything it's told me to do. I'm picking up the stupid orbs, I'm going around spinning to win and all that stuff. And I just don't feel like that character does damage at all, ever. It's just, the Q feels like shit, the E feels like shit. I'm just like, I feel like I'm playing this character and ignoring their entire kit 90% of the time because it's just not doing anything. I think it's the only character I feel that way about, because, like, I think of any other character, like, they're mostly good. Like, if I had to truly say that a character, like, I think the two characters that desperately need an update are the cat and the dog. And that's just primarily because the prince is just, he's the default character, but he's balanced around, like, oh, God. Well, that was terrible. Reincarnation 10's, the son of a bitch. And it's a lot harder solo. Critical shit. Also, I might be a little biased against this season because you can see my rolls are not very consistently good. Or average. Kind of suck in general. There's terrible options. I feel like I would like the scalpel more if it wasn't for the fact that, like, I feel like I'm actively fighting the weapon. Okay, that's not fair. If you do single shot mode, it's fine. Anyways, you're gonna do double shot mode. At which point your accuracy gets a little... not good. Okay. I don't know how that missed me. Man. It's funny that, like, I looked at it, my last stream was me playing Pal World after the last big update. And I'm probably gonna have to play that, but, like, I definitely am at the point now where I am very cautiously optimistic for where they're gonna go for 1.0. I know Bucky has been absolutely talking up how big this update's gonna be, and it's like, I really hope he is not overselling it, because I really do feel that there are so many areas that need to be shored up on that game that it is just absurd. And yeah, let's do grenades. Okay, there was how do I put this? I like Pal World as a baseline game. It's just that, like, once you reach the end game, I feel like that entire game falls apart. Because, like, that game is very much the journey, not the destination, but the problem is that it's an open world survival craft game. Much of those games are both journey and destination. Like, there has to be some goal or something that you can do to make your own fun with. And I feel like, how do I put this? Make your own, like, it's always difficult to describe make your own fun games. I feel like people need to have a lot of options. Like, at the end of the day, you can only make your own fun with the tools you're provided. Like, if you had somebody Pong and tell them to make their own fun, well, you could probably get creative with that, but, like, at the end of the day, you got a paddle that can move in 2 directions. That's your ability to really do your own thing with it is a little limited. Like, so once again, it's very much you are at the mercy of what tools you're given to, you know, do that quote unquote make your own fun. Most people, like, I guess, you know, it's the difference of things, the more sandboxy the better in that regard, but Now I'll use this one. Yeah, I like that stuff, but I guess to kind of make a point out of this is more just I like where Pal World is at. The problem is that this is what happened with and I will admit I should really just make a new server at this point. My plan with the new update is probably going to load all of our best pals into the box so we can just, you know, not have to deal with that whole process. And then go try the new shit. Because every update, they change the progression just a little bit. They add a lower tier of something, or a higher tier of something, or a middle tier. And so, there is things that change. It is not like, you're not getting just more tacked onto the end. The core of the game does update very slightly. And I mean very slightly. It's just, I want there to be a better endgame, because right now, every time, like, once you have found everything, as in, you've picked up all the, like, teleport points, you've done all the bounties, and you've basically built up your base, and, oh, and you've, you know, beaten the not gym leader of that area. What ends up happening every time is that it's like, okay, I want to do, like, ooh, do I have anything that's even worth upgrading? Not really. Random occult scroll, let's go. I've been gypped. Oh. Heavy defense. I guess I could upgrade my heavy firepower. You spoil me, game. It didn't even change what it did. Yeah, the number's higher, but it's still it's all in a range. There we go. So anyways, what ends up happening is you go, okay, well, I want to do, you know, the raid boss. Okay, well, there's a little bit of grinding involved. You know, I'm not going to do that yet. There we go. There's a little bit of grinding involved, and I don't fault it too much on that. It's like, okay, you have to get the slabs to do it. Okay, well, are all your pal, you know, it's like if you're doing any of the ones that are, like, at max level, well, are all your pals max level? You need to have an entire base filled out full of these things. And, like, just having a max level pal isn't good enough. Those attributes that they get do matter. So it's like, okay, well, I gotta breed a good pal for this. I gotta breed a base worth of them. So you gotta make sure that the right elements, so you gotta do this as well. Oh, come on, don't make me choose like this. Well... Speed Traveler. I can't say no to move speed. It's too important. So you end up wanting to doing the raid bosses in Pal World. And I mean, I'll get rid of Curse Scroll. Oh god. I'm not supposed to start yet. I barely even walked forward. What was that physics? I assume it was the thing behind me blew up, which blew up the barrels. But, like, that was a little suspect right there, because it felt weird that I got pulled into the fiery death. But whatever, I didn't die, so... Hell, I don't even think I took damage. Like, health damage. And this shield bullshit's a lot more annoying in single player. In the multiplayer, you just kind of, you know, figure out who's got the attention and then circle around. A lot more annoying on this. Oh. Hey there, kitty cat. Oh, come on. I got hung up on that corner there. Sorry, kitty cat is, we just got her. She's been, like, it was by the first 2 days, and I think she's adjusting to diet change, because she acts like she's been wanting to throw up for the past, like, day and a half. None of our cats really get hairballs, and so we feel like she's probably getting a hairball. And as her diet kind of fixes, she'll probably stop getting a hairball. But, you know. Or she's just being a dumb cat and, you know, eating too much. Which is always possible. Anywho, so what ends up happening is you want to get all these pals, so you got to do the breeding. The breeding takes forever. Like, I'm sorry, when your default thing is you have to take the default setting for breeding time and put it down to like 1/quintillionth of its value, the point that with the highest tier thing it only takes like half an hour, and you're still taking weeks to get a good roll. I feel like there's just something inherently wrong with that system. Yeah, this thing's falling off a bit, much as I like it. But, like, so that the breeding's already one aspect, and you need good equipment, which, which one do I want of this? I'm very good at that, so, I mean, I might as well do that, because if I fall, my run's over. I literally can't lose on this. Honestly, the Sunder might be a good choice. You okay there, kitty cat? She's looking at me like somehow I made her, like, you know, sick. Like it's my fault. Maybe it is, but, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so, like, you do that, and then you want to do, and, like, half the time if you want to get better equipment for yourself. What the shit is this? And I can't think of a worse time to have to reload. Come on. This is gonna be awful. Yeah, that's actually gonna be faster. I want to focus on that a little bit, because I didn't want to deal with that at all. Crap. Double crap. So anyways, the Andre, Merciless Combo, what ends up happening, like, with a lot of the runs is you do that, then you're like, okay, well, I want to do the oil rig so I can get, like, good equipment to actually use some of this stuff. And you're like, or, you know, just in some case, like, some cases you can only get certain recipes from going to the oil rig, and in some cases you can only get the highest tier versions of those recipes going to oil rig. Now, they made that a little better, because if you get too many of the lower tier ones, you can start merging them together. And that does make a pretty big difference, so I can't, like, fault them too much on that. They have tried to fix that portion. But the problem is that, you know, you do that, you do the oil rigs, and everything there is scaled up to the high heavens, and fine, it's endgame content. But it goes back to that, okay, well, do you have good pals? Yes, no. And you're just like, hell, And you need to have like pretty good equipment from the previous tier to do that, and it's very grindy on that portion. And the worst part is there's a good chance, like, once you run out of stuff to do, you're not max level yet. And so that adds a lot of time to it. And it doesn't help that, like, your stats are all just kind of, like, meaningless, because you get to make choices as you level up, and then eventually you're drinking potions that just give you extra stats. And the trick is that eventually that just takes over, and you'll eventually cap out every stat anyways, even though you can't apply anymore. So the choice is only a temporary thing, and eventually it won't matter. I think that's fine to a degree, but it definitely feels like you're not, you know, it feels like an illusion of choice then, because you're not really making a build at that point. And admittedly, the build was always like, okay, well, do you want more defense, more health, or more damage? Or, you know, the most useless of stats, work speed. Which I think is, it's one of the worst ones in the game. Like, it's one of those things that gets worse the further in you go. And even if you cap it out as high as it can go, you will still never be anywhere near as good as the best pal. And just to encourage you more, the game puts more and more things in for, you know, that literally can't be done without a pal. But, like, my biggest problem is that, like, you kind of just end up looping on, you run the, you know, you work on pal breeding, and you run the oil rig. That's 99% of what you're doing. The rest of it is, and have you gotten the new really annoying to get resource? I hate that chromite ore so much. I'm sorry, but having to dig up pitiful quantities of it and needing it in vast quantities in the fastest way, and it's faster to and less annoying to just send them out on the pals out on expeditions and have them bring it back that way. And I'm like, that shouldn't be the efficient way. That should be the, oh, well, that's a bonus. No, that's basically just what you do. Game, could you, like, give me, like, a good thing? Because, like, chill accumulation's fine, but it's not good. I'm not gonna bother. Let's, I'll just save my points until we get better dice. But, yeah, so, a lot of people, like, at least those people in my friend group, like, they all get tired of the game too quickly. Like, they get to the end game and they're just like, whatever. And they never want to, like, really continue. Because as it is, just hitting the max level is usually time-consuming, but it's incredibly time-consuming because you'll run out of things to really give XP for before you hit max level. Or at least the big boost of XP. And then after that, it's like, okay, well, you kind of still need to hit this because the difference between, you know, not max level and max level is pretty massive for your combat potential. Because I think the game does some sort of, like, you know, level difference calculations. Maybe it's not, but it always felt, like, pretty substantial. Can I just fight you, guy? Can I help you, guy? I kind of had to guess there. I couldn't see his tracker. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been a huge fan of that gameplay loop because it's just doing those two things just so you could do the end game raids for gear that's worse than the legendary gear in most cases. Like, you rarely ever get anything out of it. Or you get a pal. And I hate to say it, But one of the most disappointing things eventually in that game is getting a pal. Because, for lack of a better comparison, let's say I'm in Pokemon and I catch a Zapdos. It feels, you know, really good. You're like, yeah, I got the legendary bird that he's so cool, he's zappy. Like, you get that. In Pal World. Oh, you caught the legendary? Alright, catch enough of them so you can start breeding them. Alright, now that you start breeding them, you're gonna need to start doing this crossbreeding BS to get whatever super, you know, skill that they have onto other pals that you want to have. Or at the very least, get skills that you want to have on that one onto there. I mean, these are pretty good for this character, so... And I don't like this guy. Why is this chunking him so badly? What the fuck? Sorry I ever doubted you, Sunder. Holy shit. Like, I guess that's what happens when you're literally the size of a building and you're dealing a weapon that does spread shots, but... God damn. Okay, well, this is pretty good. Anywho, but yeah, so that's like the thing, and like the raids don't feel useful. Like I really like, once again, I always have to go back to Terraria. Like, it's such a good example of like general like reward and progression, because you'll be sitting in that game. Ooh, I actually got a good roll for once. I need an arcane box. Arcane box. Fuck it. It's not a 1. And I guess a critical shit. It's the same damn thing. Oh, so anyways. My, like, I always go back to Terraria for progression purposes, because I always feel like the way those games work, it's like, okay, well, here's an item you get from this boss. Yeah. Hard to get by ultimate firearm. Anyways, because like you'll get an item from the boss, you'll have a reason to go back to the boss because they'll have something unique. And even if what the boss has isn't useful, you might drop something that comes back and can be combined into something else. You have all these like really useful things that you can like pick up in terms of items. Like you have all these accessories that you can upgrade. Oh, well, that's all she wrote. Reincarnation tension's difficult. I guess I'm taking that one. Critical hit. How many fucking ones? I'm getting this one a good try. Wait, can I even get crits with this? Barely can. I think I'm getting a migraine. Or stroke, one of the two. Ah. Just pain across my head. Ah, making it difficult to see. Oh, jeez. That's random. Anyway. So, like, you get stuff, like, it feels useful. I feel like you're getting, like, you know, random stuff out of it. The game's, like, the RNG kind of feels, like, rewarding to a degree, because you can get, like, you know, useful stuff, and it progresses your character. I feel like everything I get out of the raid bosses in Outworld is kind of shit. Because, like, they either drop a unique item that is just not as good as just getting the, like, farmed up legendary craftable stuff. Or, you know, it's just kind of generally useless. The accessory system is criminally too simplistic. Like, I really think there should be some sort of, like, upgrade system to that. Like Power, or like Terraria. And I don't know, it's hard to say, but like I think the raid should be closer to your actual progression. Because right now they're an entirely separate system. And I feel like they did it that way because of the inherent nature of how annoying they are. Because oh, that was useful. But yeah, so like their very inherent nature is just kind of disappointing. Ooh, ostrich rider, I love that. Whee! So you'll be sitting there. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Ostrich rider got me. I don't like this weapon. I've never gotten one that rolled good damage, but at this point of the game, it doesn't matter. But, like, I really want to get a good version of this one, because it seems fun. I mean, this might be the worst character to get that on, but it's still good. This means I don't have to use my ult. So anyways, like, I feel like they're separate for the progression, and the problem is you have to get an entire separated base just to do the raids, because they blow up all your buildings. I understand why, because the entire idea is, oh, hey, you want to have, you know, they don't want you to be able to, like, box this thing in, make it so it can't move, or whatever. That's why most of them, like, teleport a bunch, or way too big, fly around a bunch, things like that. I understand, but, like, it means that you just have to dedicate an entire separate base to it, fill it with a bunch of pals who are just cannon fodder, and then just actually fight the damn thing, and you're just like, this is so tedious. And so it's like, you go off, do the raid boss, and then you're like, neat, that was a thing. Woohoo. And it feels like, I almost feel like to a degree they should just made it like Terraria, where the bosses just can phase through walls. Like, once again, I know it's a bit of a comparison, but like, like in Terraria, you specifically would build like bases or arenas to go fight bosses in, so you could maximize mobility and things like that. Put up, you know, what do you call it, passive items that would help you. So like it was very nice to have. And Palworld is just put the Stonehenge in an empty field, preferably somewhere where you can get enough rocks quick enough to, you know, build a replacement. Because you gotta build a new one every single damn time you want to summon a boss. And like everything you get from it is not really worth the time or investment for it. And can I help you, kitty cat? I mean, I guess I'll take that. Oh boy, I could get another? That's pretty okay. I guess this one. I don't know, it's just a very, like I said, it's a separated system. And so I feel like I don't really get anything out of engaging with it. And like, and then there's the EX versions of the fights, which have even less reason to engage with it. And half the strategy videos were, well, did you fire more rocket launchers at it? And you're like, well, that's so boring. Which, yeah. There we go. Well, that was quick. There. Is someone left? Oh. One of these. I want to check back here first. Okay, that was just the trainer back there, so that's it. There we go. I don't know. Like I said, I like the journey of... I forgot how good the enhanced version of those were. I was like, oh, I got a bad item. Oh, that's fucking amazing. Holy shit. Yeah. Anywho, like I said, I might as well. Angelic Aura would be tempting, but I think I'll pass. I like parts of Palworld. It's just like I said, the journey up there feels good, and then I hit the end game, and it's like I want to engage with those side content, but most everyone in my friend group just kind of peters out on it, and I'm the only one left doing it. Hell, half the time I'm the only one who actually reaches max level. And, it's one of those things where it's mostly because, like, for a lot of people in my friend group, they're very... I'm going to say goal-oriented. I had to think of a nice way of putting it. It's very... If they don't have a near constant, like, you know, incentive in front of them, they kind of lose interest very quickly. And it has to be a short-term goal. I'm very much someone who kind of, like, gets into a rhythm when it comes to grinding on games, so, like, I tend to have a lot more patience when it comes to that. Gotta pick it up and I'm gonna be sad. Anyways, I tend to like be able to get into it. Like, Last Epoch's a great example. Nobody wants to do the mapping part at the end. They'll do the story part, and then nobody wants to do the actual end game where like the actual game turns on. Everybody lose interest then, because like you're doing a bunch of repetitive maps and they're not getting an active story shoved down their throat. So nobody really cares. So it's just one of those problems. And so like I feel like, you know, as bad of a game as it is, I love it, but as bad as a game as it is, 7 Days to Die is probably... Come on. I was really hoping I could just hit that little pixel on his head, but apparently no. I'm currently surrounded by cats. You all got dinner. Sorry, I was opening a drink. There we go. So what was I gonna say? The 7 Days to Die has the funny thing of like, there's very much like, especially like the base game I think is not very good. I feel like they still, like, you can, I know there's a lot of people who are very slow at those types of games, and their stuff can stretch out a bit more. There's usually the people who tend to be slower with that tend to also lose steam very quickly. So they'll never actually see any of the end stuff. So it's kind of a catch-22 on that, but I think just the very nature of the every 7 days you have to deal with the horde. You gotta get a good base built up, and you gotta build, you know, find resources. I feel like that sort of gameplay loop works. Will you put your goddamn shield down? I'm not fighting you anymore. Ah, I was too early. Fine, whatever, I got him. Okay, I don't know if this is a Windows issue or if I'm having, like... You know, I should check the device manager. I'm having an issue with, like, the D key on my keyboard just randomly decides to stop working. And it was starting in RimWorld. I started noticing it because I'll you know, scroll the map a lot with that. And it's been slowly showing up in other games, and it's that. And it would be one thing if like my whole system was lagging or something, but it's not. It's just that one key. Just doesn't want to. Oh, come on, come on. Oh, can't get that. Oh, excuse me. God damn, this is so... I hate fighting those guys solo, like, they're just so tedious. And... I give you, like, good options? No? I understand why, but I don't like it. Anyways, I feel like there where you're scrounging for materials, that keeps people going. You're scrounging for, you try to get ready for the next blood moon. That keeps people going. I'm just gonna sell these. I don't care. Was that everything? Double check there wasn't like a chest or something. But anyways, I feel like those things keep people going a lot longer, and it lets you kind of extend out the gameplay loop a little more. And I feel like that's something Palworld lacks. Once you run out of the base game content, there's nothing in the game itself outside of your own willpower keeping you to it. Like, if you don't give a shit about the raid bosses, like, basically, if you're not a completionist, you don't care. There's nothing, you don't get anything out of it. You don't get loot. I'm a bit of a loot goblin, so I kind of I like loot in games. I like random shit. I like to open, chests of goodies and figure out and get random stuff out of it. And even if it's the same dagger I've seen 30 times, that's got a slightly different affix on it. Fucking I'm there for it. So I like, games like Path of Exile, Last Epoch, stuff like that. Like, I'll admit, I think I like, fuck off. Yeah, that's a bit better. Jeez. Anyways, I like that stuff. And so, like, the more rigid a game is on loot, the more I expect there to be, like, more interesting engagement in another way. I very much dislike... It's fine. I'll just get a different one. Or I just won't go for flesh and bones this time. I picked that up and I was like, it's fine. And I realized it's like, wait, that's not Deadly Curse, it's Devil's Covenant. Oops. It's probably fine. But yeah, I generally don't like loot escalators for games, like, especially if I don't have more fiddly bits to futz with. Let's go with I don't know how it is now, but when I went, like, old WoW compared to, like, say, even just, like, WoW, even WoW from, like, the Dragonland stuff, where they had they still had the talent trees. I don't know what it looks like right now, because I haven't. But, like, I like futzing with talent trees. So, like, if you give me a piece of loot and it's just this, it's just like, okay, yes, it has slightly different stats, but there's no other equivalent at the base level. So, using this over the current, like, it's not even a choice about using it over, like, what I currently have. You're just always going to take the higher level gear. That's what I very much dislike in Final Fantasy XIV, for example, because I feel like I have no choice over my character beyond, I select the class. That wasn't too bad. Back to cool reload. I feel like the Frost Barrel thing is, like, just a primary damage source. It's such a weird build. I tried doing it once, but, like, at the end of the day, it's, like, just better as an execute. Right, arcane box. Where is it? So I gotta remind myself, otherwise I never pick it up. And it might be the most important thing of this entire league. Because if you look at this, you get an extra thing for every scroll owned. That's not the important part. Chance to drop a curiosity box when defeating or assisting in defeating normal enemies, elites, or bosses. More scrolls, more gooder. I feel like the game's sentient and it's just actively trying to fuck me over. Anyways, I'm very much not that interested when a game, it feels like I don't have a lot of choice. I want it so bad. I'm gonna pick that up, and if I end up getting the super combo again, I'm gonna laugh. So the grenade skill I picked up has an infinite loop, unless they patched it. But when I last did it, on the last boss, if you get the gluttony last boss, he is such a large enemy that one of his effects takes too long to go off. And so I ended up having a case where it was infinitely popping his... that's... I can't think of a worse way to lose a fucking res is to lose it to a... I'll lose it to a fucking tornado. Because it just feels so cheap. Like I'm gonna lose this, because I don't feel like I have the damage to make this work. Well, I already lost a life to that, so... Fuck. 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 Okay. Oh, I still actually have to kill you guys, don't I? But yeah, I'm very much about, like, choices, options, other things like that in games. So, like, the less of it I have, the more something else has to be better about it for me to, like, really want to engage with it. It's probably why I like roguelites a lot more, just because, you know, I make choices. I go, like, it's random, but I'm picking things up, I'm making choices. Like, there is some amount of player agency on my end. It's why I kind of, like, find most MMOs nowadays to be kind of incredibly bad, because I don't like how simple they are, and I'm beyond sick of the, you know, just look up a build online, it's so cookie cutter. And I'm like, yeah, I don't follow that, because most people, every time I've heard that, I'm like, yeah, you didn't live through the days of people looking up guides and still having no idea how the game actually worked. Or in some cases, the guides being actively wrong because people don't know how, you know, basically people don't know how, like, things work in theory versus practice. I've seen builds that were like, yeah, that's theoretically really high DPS. Hey, did you know you have to move during a boss fight? That's the weirdest thing. Oh, well, as soon as you can't do that constantly, damage falls in the toilet. Well, that's the weirdest darn thing. And you'll watch them actively fail at it, but because players are so absolutely superstitious, they will follow those guides to a T. It's like, oh, that wasn't the most optimal was the lookup build online. Or my favorite one, a top guild would do something and it was only good like 5 patches ago, but everyone found out about it and started using it way too late. And so that's why I don't follow the people who claim meta bullshit, because it's half the time they're wrong. They're just wrong. They don't know how the game plays to begin with. I'm like, you have, and even if you did follow the cookie cutter build and it was correct, it's always done by people who have so weak understanding of the game that there's no way they'll actually get any benefit out of it. So they would have been better off with like something that was more simplistic that worked towards their level of play, basically. Like, I don't know. It's just... There's that. But yeah, so going back to it, it's just... It doesn't help either that, you know, I'll hear that argument and then, like, nobody ever applies that argument to a single-player game. Because, you know, suddenly, if... Basically, if nobody's looking, nobody cares about being optimal. Well, if it gets too much, I may have to get rid of this Devil's Covenant. Because that Sanguine Relic. Ooh, boy. And I've been using this bow for a long time, and it's starting to show its age a little bit. It's starting to not do as much damage, but all things considered, it's still pretty okay. I very much like this weapon. Hey, teleporting's not fair. Cats, you got dinner. You're not getting any more. Rub it up against me. Like, come on. Come on, there's still some greenies that could be given. Anyways, I don't know. I just, a very long tangent to basically say, man, I hope they fix the progression, and I hope I get, like, more general... Oh, God. Whew. Teleporting bullshit is getting real old. Okay. Because like I said, I feel like I have very I feel like my actual character has very little agency, but what are you looking for, kitty cat? Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, I hope it gets more options, but I won't hold my breath on that. But at the very least, I hope they fix the endgame loop, because the gameplay loop is not very good when you're not actively, you know, discovering new shit. And I can't fault them too much on that, because it means that, like, it does mean that they did a good job on the journey portion of it. But it feels very unfinished, and, like, I have no reason to engage with the like, all the extra stuff that's, like, kind of actually important. Like, I feel like I should care a lot more about the raid bosses than I do. And I'll do them, and I've done them, and I just sit there and go, like, this is... Aww. I burned to death. Look at that, King Jack. Get over here. You're getting pets. I have Nimbus. He is attempting to struggle. But he will get hugs. Yeah. Alright, there you go, kitty. Yeah, I leveled up through sheer will of failure. I keep picking that one because that's the one that gives you the most, like, consistent damage. And I don't like that weapon, too. Play this a lot more carefully. Well, that's not too bad now. I got some actual ammo. I was getting very worried because anytime you get a heavy ammo weapon, you can't kind of just run out of bullets faster than, you know, you get them. And that is very much an early game problem, but it's still just... It's still very, like... Oh, where the fuck did you come from? I was like, there's an enemy here. I can sense him. He almost shot me in the face. You spoil me, game. Okay, admittedly, the golden bow is a lot better than it used to be because it does this shit now. It makes me feel really skillful despite the fact that it's just basically this character has a lot of explosions. But yeah, it's just more generous hitboxes. Which, to be fair, I can't fault the game too much. Like, end of the day, there's a lot of things in this game that are... How do I put this? There's a lot of things in this game that are not, like, very much... They make up for a lot of bad skill. Like, the game, and, like, a lot of the items are intentionally there to make shit easier. So I'm not gonna, like, criticize that too much. I will say there's some that do it a lot more than others. This being one of them. What are you doing, cat? It's a bag. Okay. Goofy kitty cats. But yeah, there's all long and short of, man, I like Pal World. I just hope they do a good 1.0. I am curious about the, you know, Home Sweet Home update because I do think there's some, like, core problems with just, like, base building that need to be fixed. I really hope they ever fix the fact that, like, you generally want to build your base, like, very vertically eventually, especially if you want to make it just, like, your production capital, effectively. This guy's durable. Oh, right, they had the Ember health bar. I just like... I don't know what gonna do that. But, like, the problem I always had was eventually their AI would just give up. Man, I feel like I'm playing Payday again. In terms of the fact that, like... I don't know if this is a very unique experience, but I got a feeling that, like, a lot of people have had this. So play Payday 2, and you just sit there and you start watching the helmets, like, pop off of enemies. And, like, it happens enough times in a row where you're like, there's no fucking way I'm this good. No. Where, and then you look into it, it's like, no, the game apparently has very aggressive, basically, you know... It's not even really aim assist, it's almost like, you know, just... the bullets, you know, almost correct themselves. But, you know, because it doesn't, like, pull your ass in, but it happens enough times where you're like, no, not this. I'm nowhere near this good. No fucking way. Did I do this? What happens with that terrible memory thing? Feels so goddamn skillful right now. You have no idea. Why can't the Ghost Shock do this? Like, I know I'm harping on that weapon again, but, like... I feel like that's a valid criticism at this point. Okay. Ooh, I do like me a cavalry. And a multiple cavalry. I'll keep that as a backup. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm not going to pick it up. But man, do I like that a lot. Damn, my one weakness. They're moving slightly. Oh, my nose is itchy. Well, I guess that means my roommate made it to his destination safely. He's visiting family in a... I don't know what Planet Crafter is, but I hope he's having fun. He's probably not. He's playing with his family. God, please, no! Ah, I got locked into place there. I'll fucking wait. Like... That sounds like a lot of explosions. I missed. Okay, I feel like that was a horseshit number of grenade throwers. And maybe it's because I got a single shot weapon, so maybe that's why that felt so bad. But like, fuck you. That was... Oh. And it was the lightning guys too. I hate the lightning guys because they hit you and they lock you in place. And so if you're in a bad spot, you're dead. you're not making it. Oh. Alright, cavalry. I said cavalry. Come on. Come on. I'm panicking. Okay. I get very like anxious with that guy because like I don't like to lose out on stuff because everything you lose out on is just your run's gonna be so much worse. So I try to not lose a single hit on those. Single drop for those. Okay, that's actually kind of nuts. I haven't used this weapon in a hot minute, so I forgot that it could go through shields. And, I mean, that's, Okay, maybe it can't, or maybe I just suck, I don't know. Magazine capacity. Yeah, let's go with that one. I'm gonna do the next room first. This weapon's already starting to experience a bit of fall off. That'll happen. Okay, that works. Okay. I feel like I'm concentrating way harder on this one. Okay. I was taking a drink. Okay. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Please no. I'm not relic. Yeah. Oh, this is stupid, but did I pick up something? Yes, I got the unfitted roll. This is how bad my memory can get at times, so I just left it. I was like, I don't remember if I did something. I'm a little curious. Does this do anything? I mean, it can't be that bad, right? It could be. But fire on the off chance. You know, I think having an advanced depot on this might be a little, silly. Arcane box. I said arcane box. I said arcade box. Fuck you, game. There. I literally just want it because the base tier doesn't give anything. Power. Pretty good. Let's take critical hit. I don't have a spot for it right now. I don't really want to drop the HP yet. Well, that's basically determining whether or not I make it through this or not. Context, the fake death is effectively an on-cooldown version of Borderlands death of, oh, you're going to die, go shoot something so you can get back up. Okay. Ah, there you go. You know, I probably could use that pistol. Alright, we need that, and... yeah, I'll just do this now. Come on, let me get your damn foot. Curiosity box. Let's see. Sorry, my camera just suddenly stuck upwards and I was very confused. Alright, plenty ammo, poop crap, but yeah. I think if I have, as long as nothing comes up, may attempt to stream again tomorrow. I think I might play that Total Chaos game. I have not played a good, like, first-person horror game in a while. I don't really count Resident Evil 7 or 8, because... I don't know. I don't really consider Resident Evil that much horror anymore. The suspense isn't really there. Like, I'll say 7 starts off a little bit that way, but the games eventually kind of turn into action games regardless, because it's just kind of their nature. So, like, they don't ever keep it up that well. And I don't think any horror game can truly do it, but, like, I feel like they're not great at keeping the pressure on. Like eventually Amnesia, you're just kind of just walking around, not really giving a damn about the boss, but like you can still feel tension because of the scenario it's put you in. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah. Another game I've been playing a ton of in my general hiatus was Night Rain. I want to say that was a game that started off very strong for me, and I very quickly fell off on that one. I played all of the Everdark up to all the Everdark bosses, beat all of them, and then I got to the Depth of Night, and I was just like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. And that was what my entire feeling on that was. It was just like, I don't enjoy getting 1 to 2 shot by things. Not without like that happens in this game, but it happens early on, and you can build out of it. And that one, but even in here, like, you're not getting 1 shot without having the items. You're just, you know, you're gonna have a bad time generally. But like, also getting raised up by your ally isn't as punishing. But like, there it's like, okay, well, you need the damage reduction at full HPs just to participate in that mode, and it's just tedious, because like, now it's just like, okay, well, if you don't have this, you lose the game. And I'm sorry, I don't find cranking up all the enemies' numbers without getting something in return. Because, like, you generally get more stuff out of playing, like, say, Gunfire Reborn here. You get more stuff out of doing the higher difficulties, because more things drop, higher rarities, you know, there's more chances for things to drop. They usually introduce more mechanics for you to play with, things like that. Like, you don't feel that bad trying out the new thing, because you're getting something for doing it. I feel like the Depth of Night mode, you get the new stuff, but it's already all risk-reward items. On top of them, just multiplying the enemy's stats. Like, it would be as if this game, where they introduced Reincarnation 10, and every single scroll you picked up had, like, some horrible curse attached to it. Like, it was just... And then, while on top of the fact that all the enemies are just way higher damage. You know, like, well, that's just extra punishing, but for really no gain on my end. I'm sorry, I'm not one of those, oh, I got the bragging rights because I, you know, fucking beat the hard mode. I'm like, I don't care. At the end of the day, I'm playing it because I want to have fun with it. I'm not having fun, it's a shit game. And the problem with that one was I had a lot of fun at start for it, but I feel like for a AAA roguelite, we got very little. Especially for an asset flip. Like, where the entire game, like, a good chunk of the game is reused assets, and they still couldn't even give us, like, more random map configurations. Like, it feels like that game got, like, basically a shoestring budget and said, good luck, asshole. If that's the case, what they did was fine. It's just that kind of means that their publisher, at the very least, is kind of charging too much for it. Because it's like, you can get Gunfire Reborn. In my opinion, a much more complete game for way less. And it's one of the things where, like, there's only like 10, I think there's not even that many. I think it's like 5 or 10 maps per boss. And the boss spawns and the enemy placements and the
things are all preset. The only thing that's really going to change is like what items drop. And so that's about it. And even that kind of just becomes very samey after a while. Like, I don't... And that's sort of the thing of, like... I hate to say it, but, like, because of your character, by its very nature, there's not enough options to make building around certain things feel that useful. And, like... Because... How do I put this? Elden Ring probably had the most customization of it because it had the Ash of War system. But at the end of the day, it still came down to what category... Oh, God. Okay. Give me... I haven't run out of ammo in this game in a long-ass time. That was a new sensation. But, you know, you get a lot of that. But at the end of the day, it's kind of weapon categories. Like, the unique weapons will have unique movesets, so that's definitely a boon. But, like, I definitely feel like there was a lot of weapons that are very samey in there, and you're just kind of hoping for a good roll on the Ash of War then. And then they brought over very few actual weapons. So even with that, the selection is very narrow, and you end up just kind of gravitating towards the unique ones half the time anyways. Or, like, one level below the legendaries, because, let's face it, a lot of the legendaries are still kind of... eh. Depends on the legendary, but, like, you find it Ordovus's, you're taking that not because you actually give a shit about the sword. The sword's good, but you want it because of the Ash of War that's guaranteed on it. And that one's just a purple. But, you know, there's other purple items that are just very standard. Ow. Oh yeah, the Everdog bosses started strong and got weaker as they went, in my opinion. Not in terms of actually getting weaker, but in terms of, like, design. Like, I'm sorry, Tricephalos sucked. I know a bunch of streamers said it was peak, but it was mostly the guys who do no-hit runs. I'm like, yeah, for an average person, this isn't fun. Like, this is... half the cast didn't even feel that playable. You just kind of went for, like, you know, fucking Wilder or something else like that. Called it good, because nothing else had enough damage out. Or nothing else could really survive a hit from that enemy. So, like, half the people... Like, half the time you're either... you know, I think this weapon's finally seen its, Can I help you, cat? So he's sniffing my feet like he's gonna find some hidden goodies. No. No. Kinda hard to say no to snow boots. But I don't know. I felt that boss hit way too hard. The counterattack mechanic was just very unfun to deal with because, you know, it was basically just, it was punishing you for doing like, you know, basically punish windows, and you had to identify it that was different, and like half the time in the heat of battle, you're not reasonably figuring that out. I'm sorry. Like, if you're at all flustered at what you're doing, you're going to have a bad time. And so, it was just like... And like, the actual moveset was just tedious. This is a bad setup. Just found him to be all that. Like, I just found that fight to be tedious. I thought the I can't remember his name. The big floaty jellyfish dude. I thought his fight was shit. I legitimately thought that was the worst fight in the entire game. Because of the Storm Ruler shit. Here's the thing. I didn't even mind the spectacle fights in Dark Souls 3, in Elden Ring, but here's the problem. This is my entire issue, and I'm going to very easily explain why this is so badly designed and such a step backwards. Yorm was not a hard boss, but you didn't care because the Storm Ruler felt cool to use, but it was, you know, you did it, you got done with it, you didn't care anymore. You did your time, you're done. And if you had, and it was even, you know, more cinematic feeling when you had, what's his face there? Sigmire. So, like, you had a lot going for that fight that made up for how not that complicated it was. Rykard was a very well put together fight because you weren't just spamming the skill. You were using the whole goddamn weapon, and you still had to fight the fucking boss. Like, Rykard... Yeah, like, Rykard had more to him than just spam Ash of War. Like, you could still do jump attacks, you could still do basic attacks. The whole weapon was built for his fight, like, but, like, you were using the whole goddamn weapon. The jellyfish boss in Night Rain... I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to try that one. The Rykard fight, I feel is just very, very... Or, sorry, the jellyfish fight is so badly put together because you got demoted down to the Yorm version of Storm Ruler. For the downside... Kinda neat. What are you doing, cat? It's a box. What are you doing to the box? I see you there. You name this. Whatever. He's clawing at a box, and I had to make sure he wasn't, like, doing something else. Anyway, so... I feel like the problem with that fight is... It's a very weird thing, because it's like... How do I put this? When you're playing Elden Ring or Dark Souls 3 and you run into that fight, you put the weapon on, you do the fight, and you're done with it, you put back on your old gear and you continue the game. In Night Rain, your entire day up till that point is a waste of time. Your entire character, outside of their HP bar and their damage reduction, is absolutely and completely disconnected from that fight. Like, it was just your character's HP bar. Like, there is literally no reason to ever play a Revenant when you could have been or hell, even the Iron Eye, when you could just be a raider with the Storm Ruler. Like, why do you care? Why would you bother? Because, like, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is that, you know, if you take a hit from the boss, you need it. And his movement patterns and stuff were kind of hard to read. Because, I'm sorry, I know a lot of people try to argue about this, but, like, I legitimately felt like there's nothing that hitbox was very hard to gauge because the hitbox was multiple times the size of his his model, and some people figured it out. I was not one of them, and so I just had a miserable time, and I just played a raider, got the fight over with, and never looked back. I just did not have fun with that fight. I know there's people that defend the fuck out of that fight. Yeah, I thought it was garbage. Absolute trash. I like... Libra wasn't a very well put together fight either, but like... I don't know. I didn't have that much trouble with it. It just was tedious. If I had to say anything, I think it was, playing Guardian against him was actually fucking hilarious, because if I remember correctly, they gave him, like, one of the Guardians could spawn with, like, a bow or something. It was either Guardian or Wilder. One of them could spawn with a bow, and he was absolutely fucking useless. So, you know, you laughed your ass off at any time they showed up. I just remember there was some version of the enemy that was, like, actually useless. I knew it. Okay. I was afraid it was going to be the, this room tends to like to spawn the corrosive, flamethrower guy, and I think that flamethrower guys are some of the most dangerous shit in this game. Because it's very easy to just get caught in a bad spot, and well, there goes your run. Like, that hasn't happened like 30 times already, but still. Star fry? Oh. I'll actually just throw that shit to the floor. Ooh, alright, let's take a look. So this is... Weakness test high number of shots fired and pressure reduced by 1 for 4 seconds. One more projectile, return ammo and miss. I don't really do too much. Consecutive crits, crit. Yeah, it's fucking... You did your job, but unfortunately, I have found your replacement. Burst shot on the burst shot on the cavalry always feels pretty good. Anywho, but I don't know. So I felt like they were just phoning in that entire game after release, and like everything afterwards just felt worse and worse and worse and worse. And so Night Rain just... I'm legitimately at the point that if I don't see a patch note about them basically fixing Depth of Night, I'm probably not even going to pick up the DLC. I legitimately had so little fun with that. Like, I'm sorry, but multiplying the numbers and for basically getting nothing for it is so unfun that I do not want anything to do it. I absolutely detest one-shot. Like, and I have to always... Can you stop being an asshole? You. Leave her alone. Nimbus is chasing Gato around. I think because the other kitten is sleeping right now, he's getting antsy and he wants to play. Anyway, so... Oh, meow. What do you want, kitty cat? Ooh, I love Take It All. Ninja. I don't know. I hate one-shot mechanics in games, and like there's an asterisk to that. I don't think the existence of a one-shot in itself is bad. Oh god, I forgot he changes his entire way of playing. I like how the first boss barely changes and this guy literally just loses his entire fight mechanic. Though, I'm not gonna lie, I still hate the invulnerability mechanic of him, because it's just like... I get it, it keeps the fight going longer, but fuck you. Mm-hmm. Yep. So engaged. Jeez. Anyways, so Teostra is a great example. There's a point where the boss just pops out. He starts charging. He starts doing the big thing. He flies into the air. He explodes. And if you don't get the fuck out of there, you're dead. You're not making it out. They're not even going to find enough pieces of you to send home. Like, fine. That is the kind of one-shot mechanic I'm okay with, because that one is just, use your goddamn eyes and ears. You should have been out of that. I can accept those kinds. If I get one-tapped by a basic attack, I'm pretty quickly like, I'm done. I'm out. Like, I don't have fun getting, like, having to basically play a no-hit run. I didn't sign up for a no-hit run. Game, I'm getting really tired of your shit with these rolling ones. Let's buy a better arcane box. Get real tired of your shit, game. So I'm getting real tired of your shit, game. I know I can roll higher, but I don't even want to waste them at this point. Spirit Bibble. These are all awful. Okay. Why is my HP so low? Do I have... Oh, God, I got Deadly Curse. And it gave me Enhanced Flesh and Bones. Oh. Oh, no. And I can't toss that away. Alright, well, we get to play on hard mode. And my D key went out for a second there. Neat. But yeah, I will tell the greatest example of me just noping the fuck out of a game with that, which was, I was playing Darkness Falls mod for 7 Days to Die. I thought that mod was pretty fun. I enjoyed parts of it. I think the new progression's fun. I think various mechanics they add were fun. I like that mod. Then we are then at the point where we're like, well, let's go into the wasteland. Okay. We're trying to search for items, materials, stuff in the wasteland area. Fine and dandy. We run into a small problem. We start, you know, the enemy spawns start, like, really ramping up there. They get absolutely fucking ridiculous out there. Huh. I turned around because I didn't think I was actually going to make that jump, and then I made it and walked off anyways. And we were just having, like, a very difficult time Now, there is a type of enemy that can spawn in there called a succubus. They're a flying enemy. Flying enemies don't work too well in that game. They're a little janky, but whatever. We can deal with it. They're a little annoying to fight. Like, their hitboxes are a little sus. But once again, fine. We can deal with this. I walk forward in my full tank build. I had buffed up. I had every damage reduction item in the game on. I had every damage reduction piece of equipment. I had picked up every damage reduction talent in the game. And, well, anyways, I walked forward and got one-tapped. I sat there fucking flabbergasted, not even sure what happened. Turns out, far, far above me was apparently a succubus queen. This is an enemy that can only spawn in that area. And there's apparently something where she buffs all the enemies. Now, the theory that everyone has, I don't really care, but the theory everyone has is that because of, like, more than one spawned, they were basically in a feedback loop of buffing each other. That's neat. Anyways, I very quickly turned that game off and never turned that mod back on again. I, till this day, may never actually ever look at that mod again. Sorry, if I'm a full tank, literally every source of damage reduction in the game, and I get one-tapped by something I can't even see? Nah. Fuck you, I ain't doing that shit. Get over here. Oh, okay. My HP is way too low for this. That's fine. Sorry, I thought everything despawned. I was wrong. Holy shit, was I wrong. Okay. But yeah, like, I'm sorry, but, like, you're gonna crank the damage up so high that a full tank build can't, with full buffs, full everything, literally, I could not have reduced the damage down further, and I'm one-shot by a basic attack, no less, that I can't see? Nah. Nope. Just no. I do not like that. I find that to be so immensely unfun that it is the immediate, like, I want nothing to do with that game. I will uninstall on the spot. Getting one shot by basic attacks might be the greatest of just, I will not deal with that. Okay. I even deal elemental? No. Okay. Like, hell, I like to go a step further where I go, man, even Mario can get hit more than once in a game. There's a reason why I never even bothered playing like Super Ghosts and Goblins, because I'm like, I don't want to play a no-hit run. Oh boy, deadly counter. How much damage have I done? Not much at all, actually. Oh god. Man, I'd love to be able to see anything. Okay, that was all of them? There were so many explosions from those guys. I couldn't even tell what the hell was past them, so I was like, I think there's a summoner there. Can't fucking see him. Guess that's everything. I missed that whole damn thing. I guess I'll use that one. Oh boy, an upgraded voice shot. Reload time. We're gonna try upgrade this. Fuck. This is gonna fuck me over. Oh, thank God. Okay, that's two purples. All right, now we need an arcane box. Arcane box. Could be better, could be worse. We'll get a critical hit. Critical shit. Nope. Oh god, I forgot that goes from a 6 to a 10. Holy. Yeah, you know, you're just your standard 10-round burst. The most reasonable. Can I can't discard it. I wonder what's... I gotta have something that's preventing me from discarding stuff, but I don't remember which. Well, it is what it is. Holy. I'm not gonna lie, the like critical hit effect. That might be like one of the more satisfying ones I've heard in a game, because like little ting sounds like it's scratching the right part of the brain. Just do this, get done with. Oh god, no. So I hate this one because it's possible to be too fast for it. And like you have to dash for the first one. Nope, I wasn't too far. I wasn't far enough forward. I might actually miss this one. My character's too fast. Okay. Okay, no, wait. I'm just the right amount of fast. Oh, okay. There we go. It's this one? Oh boy, the cube. That was a bit of a downgrade. I mean, I guess I can benefit from all those elemental things now, but I'd have rather had the crit. Three. That's 5. Why does the golden bow actually have like kind of a shit multiplier? I guess it's because you get most of the multiplier from the actual pullback, so it's just not a good thing for that. I don't really care about that. Flame Shard. That might actually help because I can't get fire dots then. Oh, that's pretty neat. Lucky shot chance on weak spots. I love Lucky Shot and the fact that it's probably the best worst thing in this game. Because it's either something you don't give a flying fuck about, or you are just doing some of the most absurd damage ever. There's not much in between. Because there's some characters and weapon, like, it's very dependent on your character to a degree, but it's also just your weapon. Because, like, your weapon kind of needs to enable it to a degree. And I barely see Mystic Mirror anymore. I feel like that one's a lot less good than it used to be. Let's just pick up a heavy defense while we're at it. Oh. I was thinking there, I'll go pick this up and they'll be good. And then I realized I didn't have enough. Ugh, I hate good card cooldown. Man, I didn't get the new zone at all. Because there's a whole new zone, but apparently you only get it on the second bit. Sure. Nope. I forgot this guy comes out now. Because there's a whole picture of him, and they never thought to, like, actually make him an enemy. That was a bit spoopy. But we lived. All that matters. Can I finally drop? No. Shit. And alrighty. I mean, nothing says I can't have another. Actually, let's do power shot. I'm doing crits. All shit. There's a lot of not good choices. When target is unbalanced or HP is below lethal line, deal frost burial damage to one additional enemy. What do I do? That's a 50% damage increase, or it's... I feel like that one's more useful. Getting so much goddamn ammo. So little control over my character. Ice is, brutal. Now, I guess... Open up this way. I just don't want to reascend this mountain later. How many damage ever catch up? No. It's still a little better, but if I don't hit a million by the end of this, it's kind of proof that there's a low damage run. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, all things considered though, that was probably the best use of the golden bow I've ever had in a run. I didn't really hold out to the end because unfortunately this character is incredibly stupid with a high rate of fire weapon. Because I don't think... I don't know, 4%... okay, yeah, no. Lightning shard. Now, it's enhanced paranormality is what I want to get. But I'm probably not getting. Hey, guy. Man, I need a blessing disguise. So I can get 2 choices. Honestly, we can do one more. Yeah, I'll hold on to it, but I think we're gonna use it. Ah, yes. Oh, oh, look at that HP bar. It's more than double digits. Oh. I'm not gonna lie, I'm shocked I made it this far with double-digit HP. 75% HP reduction. I was coasting on that damage resistance, and that was it. I need something with higher than 5 times. I'm not sure if there's a weapon that has higher. Yeah. It would basically have to have it on its affixes. Ah, you're Lucky Roulette. Nobody likes you. Like, they buffed Lucky Roulette, but I feel like there's just something fundamentally wrong with how they're trying to do it. Because the problem is that it's just... You have a chance to gain that, but, like... I'm only below 5 digits because I spent that much. I feel like the Lucky Roulette in a lot of cases just doesn't apply. Because you'll actually lose money half the time. Like, there's only so many situations where it could really apply. I don't know, it always just felt like a detriment to me. Like, it was one of those things where it's like, even if you get the bonus, you're still losing out. Hawkeye sight. Actually great. Oh, well, okay, my damage caught up. I hit the minimum number for this to feel like a good... For me to consider this a high damage run. Because if I was below that much, it was going to start concerning me because of the fact that, like, everything in Reincarnation 10 is a lot beefier. So, like, it's kind of bad when you don't hit those, you know, the million damage number by now. Alright, well, we'll try a critical hit. More like critical shit. Still a critical shit. God, I fucking hate this game. Okay, that worked out at least. And now I'm too broke. That was reasonable. One may even say the most reasonable. No. Kinda sucks. Kinda sucks, I guess. Hidden treasure. I don't have the super combo, so I won't get to test it, but... I mean, I guess I'll take that. I bought it, but it won't do anything. I kind of keep hoping they're gonna put in another boss, because like the winter tyrant at the end, like he's kind of bleh, but like it's like you're gonna name a guy, you're gonna put out an enemy, he's named after one of the 7 deadly sins, and you make literally none of the other ones. Like, it's very weird to me. It's like, you fight Gluttony, and they didn't even put him in as part of, like, the base game originally. He was part of the, is it Spiritual Assault mode? Which I don't even think they've looked at that mode since it came out. And it wasn't, like, a particularly bad mode. It just never did anything else with it, so I didn't give a shit. I actually lost soul essences on that. That's hilarious. I still lost soul. Well, how long have I been at this? About like 2 hours? 3 hours? I don't know, I was losing a lot there. But I mean, that's my first solo Reincarnation 10 run at least, so one of these days I really should do the Spiritual Assault mode again, but I haven't really cared. How do you even get into that anymore? Like, that sounds weird, but like I haven't thought about that in so long. Right here, Spiritual Assault. 5% chance to auto-cast Frostburial when the enemy's HP drops below the lethal line. That's kinda neat, but, like, who gives a shit? Once is Lyn. Use Lyn to cast Frozen Grenade 100 times in that mode, and then 30 weapons for the Peddler and Spiritual Assault. I don't know, I'll have to give this another look again. I don't think I've ever looked at the daily challenge. I know these are a thing in games, but I just never cared. Nah. I don't feel like doing that right now, but... Oh, I don't even know if anyone ever showed up that whole time, but I don't really care. I'm getting back into the group of things. I don't expect to have an audience on my first day back after damn near a year. So I am gonna call it there. So can find my button for this. Hopefully I could, get halfway consistent again. December's right out, or at least the back half of December, because I'm going to be going to visit family. But, I mean, the hope is I can be somewhere around the area of being consistent again. Because I like doing this stuff. It's just... Man, I'm so goddamn busy and tired and sick. Holy shit. This year sucked. Last 4 years have sucked. Last 5 years have sucked. Everything sucks. Alright, I'm gonna call it there. Bye.